Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Getting Creative With, the show where AADL staff engage with an arbitrarily chosen topic to stay playful, stay inspired, and, well, creative. And my name is Ksenia. With me today are AADL staff members, Stephanie, Aurora, Christopher, and Mackenzie. And this week's theme was the third dimension, 3D. It's broad, one might say, full of depth. I'm really trying here. So Stephanie, what did you do with this topic?
Okay, so I made a pop-up card. I don't know if it shows up very well on here, but it is 3D. It's just white on all sides, so it pops up and it says, "Stay positive." And I printed out a template for the body, and it had a cute little dog head on there, but I decided instead I'd print off my dog and put that there. So
that's cute.
And there's some little stickers in the back that are snowfalls, but I kind of made a poor color choice there, and everything's white, so it doesn't really show up too well. But
it sort of looks like the pop-up, like the structure, the scaffolding for it, or his little paws.
Yeah, there's supposed to be little paws.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
And there's a tail in the background too.
Yeah.
I think maybe it would have been better if I'd colored it all in or something. So it's time. Next time that's what I'll do. But she's a black and white dog, mostly black, so I probably should have colored it in to be more real to life, but
that just brought me so much delight.
Thanks. I think I have. No, I don't have the little dog. It was a cute little cartoon dog head that came with it, and I was like, "Oh, that's adorable." And then when I printed it, I was like, "No, I want to do my dog. I want to put that on there." So.
Excellent choice. I love it.
That's such a great match to the theme, Stephanie.
Thanks.
And a message that we could all use these days. Stay positive.
Yeah. So I guess one could use it as like a birthday card idea or something. So I don't know who I'm going to give the actual card to. Maybe I'll surprise my husband with it when he comes home.
So I've seen those done a couple of different ways where you take strips of paper and you actually tape or glue the scaffolding on. And then another, which to me is more, is just like simpler, is cutting into the folded piece of paper itself. Is that what you did?
No, this was this was glued on. So there's like a little body that is glued onto the back here, and then the feet are glued onto that piece of paper. Mm-hmm. Half of it. But I feel like the cutting would have probably been easier because I was just working with a regular glue stick and it doesn't like to stick very well. So I had to dig out the glue dots. It was a lot of trial and error for something so simple.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
So what is your dog's name? I gotta know.
Her name is Zenny.
Zenny.
He's a cute little puppy, little monster.
I love the idea, just like how versatile it is too. Just like you can pretty much do it for, any holiday, any theme.
Yeah, there was a lot of cute ones that I saw. There was another one that was little potted cactuses that pop up. I liked that one a lot because I'm a cactus fan as well.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Well, thank you for that. Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Aurora, what did you do with the third dimension or 3 dimensions?
Well, actually, I did something that is already kind of 3-dimension, which is a wooden egg. And I thought I tried out the skill that I learned from the wood carving, so Toby. And then I decided chipped the Easter eggs.
Whoa.
From the
wow.
egg
Wow.
from there. And using the chipping knife, which is Toby does on his wood carving class workshop. So that's what I thought I'd give advice since I haven't really go into too much. So that give me a chance to use the skill what I learned and doing that.
That's amazing, Aurora.
It's a little bit difficult because I have to find the center points and get everything all kind of divided into 4 sections, then draw the design and then use the chipping tool to chip it. But it was fun.
So Aurora,
Yeah.
are you nervous when you're doing it? Because it's not very forgiving if you make a mistake, right?
No, actually chipping is very not too bad because once you draw the designs, you kind of follow with your chipping knife, and it's very it's not a big cut so that you could really control it to the design. Although sometimes each panel is slightly different if you look carefully. It just because when I draw the design, some area might be less and some area more. So I'm kind of make it blend in. But overall, the chipping is you could really pretty much control it. It just, but I think the bigger piece that you use to chip, then it's a little bit harder because you use a lot of muscle and to chip it.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
How long did that take you to do?
oh, I don't know. I would say maybe a couple hours. So,
Will you stain it or paint it, or will you like display it as is?
oh, I decided just display it as it is. I did spray a clear coat to protect it so that it won't get dirty. But yeah.
Just so you keep saying chipping tool or chipping knife. How does is that just specially made for wood carving and whittling, or is it a multi-tool of some sort, or that's
for each tool is for different function. This one is a chipping tool.
Okay.
For whittling, you have a different type of knife. In Toby workshop, you usually start with the carving one, that the whittling, so that you could use that. And then each knife, I think he usually have about 2 or 3 set. But for this particularly technique, the chipping, you have to use chipping knife to do it. So that's why.
Neat. Yeah, it reminds me of those Eastern European Easter eggs.
Yeah.
With the resist on them.
Well, my grandson, he's half Russian, so I would eventually present him for this one for Easter for him.
Oh,
That's really cool.
yeah, it's gorgeous. Wow. Amazing. All right, well, thank you. Christopher, 3D, what do you got?
Well, I took something that was unpainted and I made it painted. So I don't know if you can see it well or not. The camera makes it look both worse and better at the same time. So I have a lot of unpainted miniatures and unpainted pieces like this, and this is a great excuse to try my hand at painting. It's only the second piece I've ever painted, and there's so much to learn and so much practice to do on these. But it was fun, time consuming, and you need really a steady hand and clear vision, and a teeny brush. So it was fun to paint both the background, this 3-dimensional terrain, and the figure itself. So.
What kind of paints do you use?
Yeah.
I think the brand is Army Painter or something like that. It's a fairly popular brand. It's not Citadel, but it's they come in a big box, so you get a lot of different paints at one go.
I think I've heard of it. My husband does minifigs for a hobby. He paints miniatures a lot. So I think you're right on the brand there.
Yeah. The one problem I was having is that I think the paints have sat for so long that no matter how much I shook them, they were coming out really mottled once I put them on the figure. And so it doesn't look quite right. So we can blame the paint.
How tiny was your brush?
It's a 000,
Oh, wow.
but I find even that is not small enough. Once you're painting a very small detail, like a snap on a leather belt or something like that, it's still too big. So you have to be so careful.
Wow.
You know, I don't know why it's enjoyable to people, but it is somehow.
Do you have to use like something magnified to help you see because it's so tiny? And when you paint it, I know some people don't need it, but to me, it's such a tiny, it's almost like, okay, where are you seeing it? The pot.
Yeah, Aurora, I do need it, but I don't use it because there's something about looking through a magnifying glass that I cannot line up the reality of it with what I'm seeing behind the glass. It throws me off even worse. So I prefer to just put it right up to my eye and be really careful. It just doesn't work for me, a magnifying glass. So.
Do you use the tool that helps you? Because I know that Jackie's husband, Jake, yeah, he used a thing that holds the figurine up when he was turning and painting in one of his videos. Did you use that too?
No, that would have been nice because I have paint all over my fingers. And that also means I'm smudging the piece as I'm turning it. I tried to let it dry between layers of painting, but I was impatient. So yeah, what Jake uses would be a step up.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you build a little background yourself? The stone standard, did it?
No, I didn't build that. It would have been really fun. I just got it unpainted from a company called Dwarven Forge and painted it myself. And that is surprisingly easy and fun to paint. I've always been nervous with these kinds of projects. They seem so easy to screw up, but that's just purely relaxing and so easy to make something look good.
Well,
Well,
what will you be using your mini for, if anything?
To be honest, probably nothing, because it is so difficult to get together with friends to do any kind of gaming.
Yeah.
But that's a sad fact, and we won't go there.
Exactly. Let it be a beacon of hope for the one day that you will.
There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christopher. Makes me want to break out my minis. I have a little box of them right now in my little cupboard over there. Mackie, 3D, what'd you do? Oh,
I made this.
Oh, that's great.
It has a little tail in the back, so that makes it sit. Like it actually sits nicely. Yeah.
Oh.
I crocheted a cat.
That's cute.
This is the first one that I've made that has multiple parts. Like I went to the Drewby's farm programs we have, and I've done like very simple shapes that are all one shape, but this is the first one I've done that has multiple parts you have to sew together, and yeah, it's cute.
Wow.
Did you find it was hard to get the pins that the legs are the same size?
They're
So-
definitely not the same size.
Well, they look same.
They're slightly off. One's longer than the other. I found that each time I did the pattern, so I did like one arm. This is the first arm I did, and it's stubbier and fatter. So like I learned from this one, and this one's actually correct to the pattern. So this one was first, and this one's correct to the pattern. I seem to like my second time doing something seemed to be better. I know that
Yeah.
I overstuffed the legs too because they're not supposed to be as fat as they are, but they are.
Oh, but it's
Yeah.
so cute though.
Oh,
Adorable. Yeah, that's always been my problem with making things with pieces. I once tried to make an elephant, and I made the body, and then I made the legs, and all four of them were different sizes from each other.
You might be able to tell, but I think these ears are a little bit more obvious that this one is smaller than this one because this one's quite a bit bigger. Because I know it was at least 2 rows larger. So the fold over made it bigger. But I tried to correct that by curving it when I sewed it down.
Yeah.
No, it always felt like with this whole project, the second time around went better. So like basically the body is the same as the head except for a couple rows. So the head is not correct at all. It should be smaller because I miscounted a number of stitches, but the body is correct. So you learn as you go.
And the good thing about a project like that is it doesn't really need to be correct to the pattern. It looks good in the end.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll probably do it again. My nieces loved it when they saw it, so I have to make a couple of them for them. So like now I know how to stitch. So like looking at it, I can tell where my mistakes are. I can tell the stitching's not great. Now I know how to do it. It'll look better the next time around.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my dog is in love with this. Like he can't chew anything, and he just likes. When I showed him when it was done, he like put his mouth on here and took it. And went and cuddled with it. It was like, okay, you can have it after I'm done with work.
Oh,
After I present it, he can have it.
Adorable.
what
Maggie,
kind of yarn you use? Regular acrylic or is it?
I don't think it might be acrylic. I don't have the kit with me. This came in a kit, the yarn did.
Okay.
So it was a crochet kitties kit. So I have a book full of different patterns for different kinds of cats. And this was one of the simple basic ones. And the kit had the yarn, I think it might be like 50% acrylic. I don't think it's actually acrylic. It doesn't feel like it, but I'm not entirely sure.
so Mackie, all the parts are separate, is that right? And then you hand sew them together?
The head, the 2 ears are separate. Each leg and the tail are all separate in the body. All sewed down. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
a lot of moving parts.
There were a lot of parts, yeah.
Yeah. So did you stuff them and then sew them up and then attach them, or did you just attach?
I had
them?
you stuff as you go.
Okay.
With these kind of things. So once you get like for the head, once I was about right here, the direction said now stuff it, continue, and then stuff it again, and then close it up and stuff it a little bit before you close it.
Okay.
Same thing with all the limbs in the body. It was stuff as you go after halfway.
Okay.
And like you really have to for the limbs because I could barely fit a pinky into them at a certain point. So it was like, okay, shove as much as I can using the butt end of my hook because I couldn't get a finger in to like push the fiber fill down.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cute. And just the fact that you said the words "a book full of crochet patterns of different cats" just brings me a whole lot of joy too. that exists. So it's fantastic.
Yep.
What do you know what your next kitty cat is going to be?
It's probably going to be the same exact one, but it'll be the pink with blue paws or it'll be the blue with pink paws. I'm going to do two. one blue, one pink,
Mhm.
because my niece's one's favorite color is blue and the other one's favorite color is pink.
Mhm.
And it's easy to just do two and just have the matching colors.
Nice. That's very, very cool.
Great.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you for that. Your doggy will be very happy to be able to play with it now, I guess.
Yep. Or cuddle with it or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, it's adorable. Alrighty. So I am up last here, and I wanted to take something two-dimensional or something that looked two-dimensional and make it three-dimensional. So I used paper, and I know paper is technically 3D, but you know it's thin enough that it looks two-dimensional, so it's fine. So I made these little 3D paper sculptures that I can actually take apart. And this might look kind of dark and gruesome on camera, but hey, look, I can take apart this bear. Like it has like little slits in it with the legs attached. And I can just kind of flatten them down and stick them in a folder. And my cardboard project, which is the first one that we did, was similar to this in that I just cut out shapes and put cut slots into them so I could make little different abstract sculptures. But with this, I used just regular printer paper. I cut out the shapes, made sure they fit together, painted them just with acrylic, heavy body acrylic, and then stiffened them up with Mod Podge to make them more durable. And I can now play with them, kind of bend them if I really want to. They won't crease very easily at all. Again, this looks really dark on camera because I'm tearing apart a deer, but it's fine. And yeah, so now I have some forest creatures, and I have a few others that I'm working on right now. There's a dragon that I'm working on that's a bit more elaborate. But it was really, really fun to do this, and like to be able to make something out of paper, just paper and some paint, is really empowering. So it was really satisfying. And also I can get silly and like change out their legs. And that's just fun to me.
Wow. Did you make the design yourself, or did you print those off from a website?
No, I just made them myself. I drew vague bear, deer, and wolf shapes, and then I cut them out and adjusted as I went along. So my bear is kind of chunky, but it's nearly winter, so it's appropriate.
I mean, they still look like the animal they're supposed to be, so that's much you could do.
Then I have done my job if they look like the animal. No, yeah, I just cut them out of plain paper and just adjusted as I needed to.
Those are great designs that you made for those animals.
Thank you so much. It was fun. I was finishing up last night, just doing like little brush strokes and stuff on them because like they were, just solid colors, and then I figured I wanted a little bit more depth to them, so I just laid out some little brush strokes here and there. But yes, I love how simple it was, like, and just how simple the shapes are. They don't need to be really elaborate, and yet I have little functional toys or pieces of art.
Mm-hmm.
They're beautiful.
Thank
Oh, that's amazing.
you.
So did you paint it on top of your Mod Podge, or did you paint it first and then you Mod Podge over it, those little details?
Mm-hmm. So I painted the solid color first and then Mod Podge, and then I painted over the Mod Podge with a little with the details, and I just did some Sharpie like for the bear paws, for instance, and the wolf head that I did over the Mod Podge. So after I painted them all solid colors, I guess gave them a little bit more structural integrity with the Mod Podge. But drawing was the hardest part. I was so impatient. I wanted to like mess with them.
So you only do one coat of Mod Podge and that's it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. Just because it got goopy. And with my wolf, the places where I laid it down quite thickly, I just put them down flat on a little drying rack. But even with the flat sort of wire mesh drying rack, the goopier bits of Mod Podge still stuck. So I had to repaint parts of it as a result. So yeah, just the one coat did it, and they're perfectly fine. I dropped one in some water earlier, and it's solid. So yeah, paper toys that can take a beating. And if you guys have any ideas for other scenes, whether aquatic or mythical, I really want to make more of these. So let me know. But yeah, that was my thing, and I'm delighted by it. All right, well, you guys, thank you again. This was like, it's always delightful, but today it's just especially so. I don't know if it's because it's threatening to flurry outside, and I love all the happy minis and animals and creatures and sculptures that I've been able to see, or what, but this has been a joy again, as always. And I think next week's theme is translucents, if I'm not mistaken, which is going to be really interesting. I'm working on mine as we speak. I won't say what it is, but it'll be fun. Thank you, as always, for joining. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you guys have a great afternoon.